So finally I finished this bag. It seemed like a good idea, and then as I got into it, discovered that with us plumbers are quite specific about tool sizes. There's nothing really generic, because this is my first attempt at putting something like this together. Everything's been handmade, so everything that you see here, from the stitching through to the welding, through to the machining, forming, sanding, moulding, polishing, you name it, I've done it from start to finish. It's been a great learning curve for me. This is the only way I get to learn, because I set myself a goal, although it's taken a long time, and to produce something that you guys may find interesting. This isn't to say that this is the best bag out there or anything. This is something that I can adapt and modify for the future until I live with it for a couple of weeks or months or something, and then go, no, that doesn't work for me, that aspect. That's it. So anyway, hope you enjoy the film. Thanks very much for all of the subscriptions and all of the positive feedbacks on everything, and I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already seen it. Brief overview. This is the main guts of the bag. So this was the original part, the base and up to here. All of this I've added to it. So we've got leather strips here up the corners, all hand stitched, bridal stitching. We've got a band across the top that binds it all together. Inside of here there is an aluminium strip that these bolts, all the same size, go through. There's a difference here because I haven't decided whether or not I want to put two fasteners here or one in the centre. Reason being is that there may be a tool insert that goes inside. So all of up here, and then this extra band at the top in black that follows through the pattern, and then again all of the hand stitching. So the stitching has been done with it's incredibly strong nylon. This is two needles, so you put two through at the same time, and it's called bridal stitching. So that's the main aspect. The base is original. The only thing that I've modified about that is I drilled one hole through the bottom. The rest of it is, as I say, aluminium through here, and then the bolt holes through this leather. Let's go to work. Would be the main guts of it. So this is the central column to all of the bag, and the idea behind this was that I wanted a solder bag, so I would have a torch space in here for a hot torch that you can put straight into here and carry out without burning a hole in your bag or something. So bear in mind that at the beginning of this, when I never knew how to weld, this is the kind of stuff that I was doing right at the beginning, forming this odd shape and trying to do the best I could with aluminium TIG welding. So, and as I've gone along, you can see it's got a little bit better here and there, but I'm still in early stages of learning. So there's just two rings here. This piece here, this column here, comes out, so any time I can change this aspect here. This is the brace that goes inside. So these are the other components. So this is an insert that goes into there. This is the handle. Again, two 3D moulded parts, bolts and nuts. This is the other corner brace for the other side, and the idea here was that I was going to add possibly another tool belt that goes inside. These are the carriage bolts, and this is the handle design. So this is double plated, reinforced cotton here, and inside of here is a plate sandwiched in there, sandwiched in between these two plates, hand stitched across here, hand stitched down here, and again in here a core plate. The idea being that if this ever tears, it will never tear the aluminium that will be clamped. 8mm D-rings, plates for those. This is a gas bottle that we use, cut down, top put on it so that you can't hurt your hands, and then an insert, so there's a cut through there. And this is the rod off a fill valve, float valve, sorry, for a loft. So this is the bit, and then I've just knurled a piece, screwed it onto there, and inside. Yeah, let's get starting to assemble this. So the handle is a clamshell. So the idea is, take this, got the pre-done bolts in there, and they're all stainless steel. So push those through, and they should line up. Yeah. These have got captive nuts, and these are all recessed for a reason, because then we can put a cover plate on here if we so desire, with branding on it or whatever we want. Tighten these up. It's the handle done. It looks really, really nice. So there's a lot of detail gone into these aspects here. So this is the main central column, and we've got this printed insert. So this is very, very tight tolerances here. Yeah, and the idea is that we've got some apertures in here that go down this column here, and another one, and we're trying to utilize every single space. So where that would be a void in the past, we are now going to put this insert, so this goes in here very carefully, pushes all the way down and into there, and we've got a groove around the side. So next part is to attach the handle to the top. Big D-ring shackles. I can't remember if I had this handed where it was left and right handed, but we'll give it a shot. So locking nuts. So some of you might have noticed that there was a logo on one of the ends, and it was kind of like that, the Let's Go to Work one, and I took it off a little bit nicer without it, or at the very least try it. Kind of changed my mind. So with all of these things, I think sometimes the choices you make. It's our first handle, big D ring there, just got the other end to do. These are incredibly hard, so these are all stainless steel, and I had to bend these by hand with a vise. I've never done anything that creative before, making those kind of loops and stuff. That was quite a challenge, so a lot harder than I expected. Everyone seems to make it look so easy, but when you actually do it yourself, you realise just how difficult it is working with, and even drilling the stainless steel. Stainless steel is incredibly hard, as I'm sure a lot of you know, whenever you've had to drill anything close to kitchen type equipment. By learning these things, you can use them in your, experience for other things. So it's quite interesting. For me it is anyway. For some of you, you're probably thinking, why the hell would you want to learn anything like that? A lot of this stuff you do by hand. Initially, when I built the base unit, I welded all of this, the corners and that, with like an aluminium solder, because I didn't have a TIG welder and I wasn't sure whether I'd ever use it. I'd always wanted one, but I couldn't afford it, and so yeah, decided to take the plunge. I'm pleased I did. Wow. So takes quite a bit of getting used to. So that's the handle assembly. Yeah, nice and strong. No sharp edges, all hidden. So that'll take the weight of everything, because the bulk of your gear is going to be in here. So yeah, this neatly fits into here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, through the bottom there's a captived nut. Oops. This is what I wanted to do. This is probably the most tricky part of this, because I've got such big hands. Stay in the bottom like that, and then I'll just tighten it. The next thing we do is tighten these bolts into, so each one of these has got threaded bits straight into the side, into that gusset. Just want to make sure I capture a couple of these before I start. That's got that one. So now we take this other part, tighten the corner. Get in there, son. The last two that go in here are smaller size. As I said before, what I'd like to do is put some extra tooling around there, possibly maybe on a belt that would bolt into there. But you can see straight away. So that's the extra one on this side, just to hold that from racking like that. And then I've just got to do. So the idea is that I'll take all of this apart, and I'll just put a drop of Loctite on each one of these bolts. That is tough. And you can see in there, all nice and smooth, so you won't bash your hands or anything. Nothing will get caught. So some of you may remember I made this little thing, this idea. So this is a tiny little contraption, 3D printed, clip on one side, and this, would you believe, is a bit of Potterton flue off a profile. That fits perfectly into there. Now that's 5 metres. That should last you quite a while. So as I say, pull that through, take the other insert, and that's just a screw that goes into a counterbore, and then you can just unroll it. Beautiful. My guess is you want to see what goes in here. You never know when you might need it, but hey. Fire extinguisher. Now, gas cylinder. Central pocket. And the reason why it's got this on it, I made a little gizmo. This will take all of your, I might make this in aluminium, so these all fit onto there, go straight inside of there. If you just pull that up, drops down, and then you can just throw that in there. Take the next bit, put it on top, and like I say, lift up to get it out. Throw another one of those on there if you're desperate to keep leaded and unleaded. Flux brush. marker pen, marker pen, marker pen, pencil or pen, 15mm form, 22mm form. Job done. That's the central part. Spin it around again. You've got enough space designed for that. They will even fit straight through there. Yeah, and then they're in the top, so whichever you prefer. So the whole idea for me, compact and light enough. You've got this large O-ring. Sometimes I use the Leica stuff, but generally I'm on the kitchen field stuff. Take your cloth, keep it down, chuck it in there, and again that can just sit on the side there. I hate this idea of just chucking stuff in. It's bullshit, absolute bullshit, because you're always trying to get everything out of the way to get to the one thing that you want. Anyway, it's my opinion. I'm allowed to do what I want. In here, you can, there's plenty of space in here, so I've got a couple of cleaning tools for the ends of pipes. Internal and does external. Also got a couple of mini swages that I made up. And they'll easy zip up, still plenty of space in there. Around here, front, tape measure, a couple of these things, more cleaning tools, but you can use your imagination. It weighs 2.8 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. You don't need everything in one go. If you're going to solder, take in a solder bag. If you're going to do general plumbing, take in general plumbing stuff. But for God's sake, yeah, keep it so that you can carry it in. This doesn't weigh even that much. There's your few bits in here, plenty of space for extra fittings or whatever you need in here, and this is robust. Yeah, it's not moving anywhere. So, and you've still got plenty of space in the pockets and everything else. I can even put my swaging kit straight in the back here. So, hope you've enjoyed this, and that's it. Okay, so this is an old propane cylinder. And what I've done is I've bent this little gizmo, which is an old tap pull on a basin, the one that's combined, the waste pop up. So, and I've tapped a thread on the end. Focus you, there it is, cut and drilled a couple of these, and the idea is that you take these, pop them on the end, that goes into there. There's a slot cut into this propane, so there'll be one up there. I'll weld the other one here, and if you look inside, that's the action, and when you pull it up and down, I'll put a knob on the end of it, weld it in, and I just machined up a little cap. Maybe we make a cap around the top just to protect. This is all quite smooth. I've really gone to town on this to make sure it's not sharp. Ba-boom. Coming up, ground floor. Going down. So this is one of the prototypes, and the idea is that there's a little lip in there and it would sit on there, but unfortunately I forgot to put that little cutout for that in it, so I thought it would just pass it, but the size of it is ever so slightly shrunk when I've been printing it, so I'll have to change the dimensions, otherwise it won't fit, and as you can see it's pretty darn tight, and the idea is that this will be flush with the inside here, and then on the outside it will just form a tiny lip. And that was one of the first ones that I printed. For some unknown reason, printer just went nuts. Nozzle was blocked, so I had to change that. It's doing another one with the right dimensions hopefully, and we'll see if that comes out better. But yeah, that's it inside. It's definitely a lot better print quality on this one. And this is the beginnings. So we start, we've got to go all the way around. So I've marked these and then drilled through. Right, so I'm about half an hour in, so that's what, about half an hour. So you've probably got about 2.5, 3 hours of stitching to go around. Yeah. Okay, so this is the handle in a plastic grip. What we got here is doubled up calico, which is natural fibre, glued together, and then I think I'm going to run some stitching down. So I'm just making these tabs. These are 2 inches shackle D-ring, and this is stainless steel, so it's pretty tough to bend, and just doing it in a basic vise and hammer and bits and pieces. So okay, so with basic tools, so this is a round blank 4-inch I think it is in the vise. So I've cut a piece of 80mm by 340mm. This is long, rounded off the ends and stuff, made it easy to handle. And what I've done is bent it round here, and I've created this inner gusset that goes around there. And the idea is that the bolt will go through, screw through there, and form this nice inner lip, so that in theory the whole internals of this can come out. But in order to do it, I've had to measure correctly, clamp it, drill through here for M5, and then we'll thread it on the inside, and that'll bolt together, and hopefully that'll be a finishing piece on the inside. Got to do the other side yet. I may weld it, it depends how easy it is to get in and out, but some seriously sort of clamping and measuring and making sure it fits and bending it round this nice curve here. So that's it with one hole tapped through. Yeah. And then the idea, I'll put another through there. I don't actually want to put any through here, but I may end up, this is 3mm, so this is really thick. There's another one going there, so that'll be that. But pleased with that, the fit in there is pretty darn good for somebody that doesn't do sheet metal work. Some of you are probably asking, why the hell do I do this? Well, it's a learning curve for me, because I don't know how to weld at the beginning of this project, and TIG weld that is, and now I started to TIG weld. I'm doing aluminium, and steel, and these are some of the results. I'll show you. So I'm slowly getting better. This was my original stuff up here, which is absolute crap, but I hadn't done even 10 minutes welding at this point. So originally I'd fitted that up with like a aluminium solder, and this is now after probably an hour, hour and a half, maybe 3 hours tops, and that's me concentrating and trying to do my best. So what does it take to make a bag like that? A lot of hard work. So these are some of the cock-ups. So few trial and errors, mainly handles, came up pipe max, I quite like that, not sure. I've just put this together, so it's hot box at the moment, hot box. I'll say handles, these were kind of sandable, usable, some of them were too deep, too thin. This is the drawing for the handle details, and generally lots of patience. So these were originally one size, M5, and then they went up to M6. There was originally a logo on there, plastered on like that. I kind of liked it, but I also like the clean look. I think it looks more elegant, let's say, so that's where I was with it. I like to live with things for a little while, and I think that the handle is absolutely top notch. I love the stitching, I love all of that. I just enjoyed doing the whole project. Not initially, it was really hard work, but I thought I'd give you a little bit of insight, sort of, dare I say, off the camera, just as it comes out. So all of this stuff in here, this was quite interesting, bending this. I've never done that before, never done this kind of welding, and things work. That's what I quite liked about it. I wanted something for the brush that was paramount for me, that I had to have somewhere for that to go, places for Sharpies, also getting access to things. As I said a couple of times, I hate the fact that you have to take 4 things out. This is my normal fluff, so this and this, you know, generally you're going to be using either leaded or unleaded, whatever your preference is, and everything's accessible. So, and there's still loads of space. I've got loads of space in here. Just thought I'd give you an insight into all of this. So that's it.